So as we warm up the horses, we do this pretty much on every horse. You'll see we get up off the saddle, we get off their backs, we let them just jog and stretch. We do some figure eights so that we're working in both directions. And before we ask the horse to do very much, first we want to make sure the horse is nice and loose and comfortable. It's going forward nicely, it's symmetrical, it's using all of its parts. We don't really worry about where its head is or what it's doing. We just want to let it warm up. And we do this with all the horses and ponies. We don't put too much pressure on them too soon. Then he'll start to post and he'll start to make a little contact with his mouth, but he's not going to ask him to do too much too soon. This is a young green horse, recently imported. He's 5 years old. And he didn't have a very educated mouth when he came. So we've just been going nice and slowly with him and letting it sort of be his idea a little bit.
So I'm riding this horse around. He's finally developing enough and getting enough muscle. He's starting to find out where his hind feet are. As I ride him, teach him to become supple, I literally push his belly into, now I'm pushing it to the inside rein, then I go straight, now I'm going to push it to the outside rein, and that's how they learn to flex and give, as you can see. Not pull their head like this is incorrect. That's how you can damage a horse. Push him, I'm pushing him out to my outside rein. Now I tighten my fist on the outside, I'm pushing him to the inside rein. A lot of my horses at home, I post on the inside diagonal to balance out what other riders have done. In the old days, before I was born, people only posted on the left diagonal both directions. They all held their reins this way. Then someone changed our style to this way and to post on the outside shoulder, with the outside shoulder, post with the outside shoulder. I switch constantly because I like to feel the symmetry in their hind end. You have to have a hind end to have anything in front of you. In, out. And I put slight weight on the one I'm pushing to because I want that horse, as I'm competing, if I put weight in a stirrup, I want that horse to fade that direction. So if I increase the weight in one stirrup, that horse should fade that way instead of having to use so much physical leg pressure. One leg at a time. There, I was asking him to go forward and he broke to the canter because he doesn't know how to extend yet. That's his next lesson, is extension and collection. First you want him to develop their hind end muscularly, then you want him to get to go forward. As you watched in previous videos, we went forward with fresh horses, so they always thought to go forward. Their avenue of escape is forward, up to the jump in the direction they're going. Although some of those videos appeared like it might be too much, it's because they never, ever learn to sulk behind your leg. Horse has to be in front of you physically. Their center of balance is back here, and you want that to always try to seek to come up in front of you. That's why I mentioned as I go to the jump, my seat bones actually slide back in the saddle, but I don't sit firmer. There, seats back, seats forward, seats back. But you'll notice my hip doesn't come back. My shoulder doesn't come back when my seat goes back. My shoulder actually goes forward because my hip closes more as I slide my seat bones back, so that horse knows I want to continue on. Horses need to know to continue on. This horse is a little long in his body, so it's very important you spend a lot of time taking a step backwards and have him rehearse using his hind end. He's not developed enough for flying lead changes. He is capable of doing them, but until he gets looser and more sure of his hind feet, we don't ask him to do them, including when we school him over the jumps. We encourage him to jump the jump, continue on and be comfortable bringing his hind end up closer to the front end. I use a term that is not literal, but figuratively, put their hind feet under the bit, because that back has to come up, the hind feet have to come up underneath. When I stop a horse, I always make them take one extra step. So the hind end always comes up. Their avenue of escape is the hind end comes up. They can maintain their balance, they can get themselves out of a lot of trouble once that's a habit.